Alright guys, just arrived today. Here is the video review for Iron Factory IF-EX43 Primal Commander. It is their Optimal Optimus to their Tyrant Dragon. Crap, I can't remember what his name, but their Megatron Dragon. And this is arguably like his weakest mode here, is Gorilla Mode. There's some neat stuff in his transformation, but like his head seems a little large, out of proportion. The way the shoulders transform sit a little too low, and if you put them back, if you lift them up to put them in the other position, they sit a little too short. Actually, that shouldn't have picked off, but actually, no. There we go. There we go. So, yeah, and I wish you could flip these around and they could fold back this way a little better, but you don't have to have the wings facing up. You can rotate them down if you wish. But you can see, like I said, this shoulder seems to sit a little too high for Gorilla Mode. Well, actually, maybe not. But and the other way just seems too low. It seems like his arms are just extended weird with the backpack. And of course, you got the big gap here, the way his waist folds to be a monkey. I know he's a gorilla or an ape or whatever. Like I ain't playing that game. But he's got posable toes here, his feet and his heels. But yeah, just a slightly disproportionate monkey, or gorilla or ape, whatever you want to call him. His alt mode here is a little disproportionate. Like I said, and I feel like if you just maybe made his arms just seem a little too short to stand naturally here. In his head can look up in this mode. Actually, that doesn't look too bad from the front, but still, the head looks a little big. He does have an opening mouth, which is cool. You can open his mouth and see his teeth. And closing mouth. But yeah, but he's got the shoulder joints. He's got bicep swivel. He's got dual hinged elbows here. They can come up. He does have posable fingers. They're all one piece. That is not broken. I was just about to show that off. I only got one of them. One of them was missing in the box, but it's not the end of the world because I don't know that I'll use it. But you can pull his fingers off of this tab right here, and he comes with some posed hands. Instead of replacing the whole hand like on some versions of their Transformers, you can plug these on and give him kind of a grasping hand, a reaching hand, if you want, while the thumb stays posable. That's not bad. I don't know how often I'll use it. I like, because you can't really transform him with this hand on because it doesn't move at all. And I generally keep... I appreciate the extra hands that Iron Factory does tend to give us, but I don't usually use them unless they can stay on during transformation because I like having my stuff. I don't do like static poses on my shelf, and if I do, it's always in a way that I can just always, whenever I want to, grab something off the shelf and transform it and mess with it. So... I don't know how much I'll use them, but it is there. You gotta get his knuckles coming out. But there is his gorilla mode. He's got hips, the feet, ankle tilt, and the arms, and kind of with the shoulder pads or the armor pieces down here. You can move them up on the arm for robot mode. His limited posability, and he's got the ball joint at his neck, and his arms can rotate there as well, and the wings can be posed. But there's his gorilla mode. And I started off with that partly because alt mode, and also because that really is kind of his weakest mode. And then we'll go on to jet mode, which should start off in robot mode, but we've got some of it already done here. So go ahead and fold his feet up like this with the, fold up the rear fins here. Like that. Go ahead and pull these gun pieces off of his backpack. Lift his head up and pull, actually untab his pecs here from this and lift this whole assembly up with the guns. Leave this piece in the middle. And then open, this should come all the way up. Why aren't you opening? Oh, right, because you got to untab these ab pieces fold around for gorilla mode. So unpeg those, there we go. And then this whole backpack assembly will open, which will allow you to flip this head up, turn his robot mode head around so it's facing away, fold his gorilla mode head up into there, and then collapse this back down like this. fold this cockpit up and around. And then there's a little tip box. You need to fold this piece up like this first, so it covers his head. And then fold this up and around. Bring down the landing gear. And there's a little tip here that you can get out. You don't have to put it out, but you can flip out there if you can get your fingernail on it to flip that piece out. And then you bring these up. And these inside of these Gorilla pecs are kind of like intakes for the front of the jet. So, and then peg those as a clear peg there. Pegs onto there. Like that. And then you kind of, you don't Superman his arms up like on the old toy. This really reminds me a little bit of the Perfect Effect version. You bring his arms down. And this maroon peg is going to go into this peg here on the slot. So bring it down and peg it in like that to the side of the jet. It reminds you of the larger Perfect Effect Beast Guerrera figure that we reviewed, or that I reviewed, I guess. And then you rotate the wing down, and then you fold his fist up into his there. And then this piece just kind of comes up. And there's a little groove here. It doesn't really clip into place, but there's a little groove here on the forearm that kind of fits over this tab on the wing. You just kind of smush that together. Actually, it does clip into place. Okay. Clip that on, and then the whole arm and shoulder assembly can angle back like that. These tabs like to come out. Flip that around. Bring this down and peg it in. Bring the wing around. And once again, bring this out on that second hinge. Snap it into place. Up, close the fist up. There we go. And clip it into place there. Angle the wing back. Leave that up like that. Leave this landing gear down like this. And then on this piece, the landing gear kind of slides. There's some tabs here on either side of the landing gear that fit into little slots here on the gun. So take the gun and put that wheel in the slots and tab it in. Oh, actually, does the peg come in? I know there's a way to get this to sit under here. Go like this, maybe? Oh, like that, maybe. Oh, no, okay. This way, peg goes in here, and then the wheel, the peg, those pegs for the wheel kind of grip into the gun like that. The landing gear, and this piece right here clips into the waist. Right here like this, there's a little tab here, and this little tab right here, you just kind of push it right in. And clip it in under the jet mode there. And there is his jet mode. Well, that should stay in there. I don't know why that's not. Why I suddenly decided not to stay into place, but maybe I just didn't push it in enough. Oh, it's not in the slot. There we go. Well, I absolutely did this earlier. And it stayed right in there. Does it go the other way? Did I have this wrong? No. No, that's definitely how it fits. Earlier, it had like some friction, and it stayed in there very well. And now it just does not want to go. Anyway, we mushed his nose. But there's his jet mode. Like I said, it's very Perfect Effecty. Oh, I mushed his foot up. Again, very swooshable. Yeah, I like him. But again, not really posable. You can see those intakes there on the front of the jet. And then from here to the vehicle mode, pull all the guns off. And here you actually want to take this centerpiece out of the guns. This is always a little scary because there's some tabs here on this piece that tab inside the guns, and just pulling them out a little bit to get those tabs loose is a little freaky. We'll bring that down, bring his arms, and peg his arms here. Nope, and peg his arm. There we go. Bring these around, leave that front wheel down. I just rotate this around so the wheels come down, and rotate these around. Actually, I think just fold those up like that so they're off the ground. There we go. And extend his arms out to the front like that. And fold the wing back. You can fold this nose in if you want for tank mode. Actually, I think this is probably better to... Oh, and for jet mode, you can flip these up forward. I forgot to do that. Yeah, maybe bring them back like that. Oh, actually, bring them back and peg them in, I guess. There we go. And he rolls, and then you take this. These actually form his big gun. And you take this, and you... So it's going to flip down from the front. So you plug this in like here, like... Wait, how did this go? Oh, like this. No? Oh, like right here. I had that backwards there. Tab that on like that. And then this tabs onto the back here and forms a larger gun, although we don't want that handle yet. We want this little tab up here. And this little peg pegs in right here under his vehicle mode and angles up. Make sure that wheel's down so he can roll on the front. But there he is in his not truck mode. And again, you can have that tip, if you want to leave that front of the cockpit out, you can. But his wheels do roll, so you can roll them around. And then on to robot mode, which is where he really shines, if I'm being honest. Because like I said, it's a fairly faithful recreation of the old Optimal Optimus toy. But, I mean, I think we can all agree that, like, most of Optimal Optimus's modes were kind of bunk. His gorilla and his robot modes were really the main ones. And, like, the jet and the tank were kind of a jet and a tank because we say so. Although I will say this jet mode, and by extension the Perfect Effect one, I think is a better jet than the old toy was. Anyway. So you can already see where we're going with this. Just bring the legs around, open up these kneecaps, and extend the legs. Straighten these leg pieces and fold them up and clip them into place. Like that. Bring his feet forward, his ankles back, and you can fold the fin up like that. I mean, you can leave it down too if you want more heel support, but if you have the feet, because the feet are on a hinge and a ball joint, so if you have them too far forward or back, the heel won't support it. So you want to make sure you push that far enough forward that you've got the support of the heel. And if you do that right, he's pretty solid. But if you want a little extra heel support, you can flip down that fin. This didn't lock into place all the way. So there you go. You want to actually hear that clip into place because that locks the knee into place. Leave this back right here. The arms, unpeg the maroon bit, and we're not going to rotate them until we get the chest pieces rotated into place. So fold the wheel in a little bit, untab these pieces from the side here, and fold this all the way down and around in, and fold it down to his chest so it clips into place. Fold this panel down, turn his head around, and then the shoulder pieces here, the monkey ab pieces / vent pieces end up on his back, so you rotate this down like this, and then tab the vent into his jetpack there, like that. And same over here, just rotate it down and tab the clear piece into the back there. You kind of push the shoulder in so it all locks together. And then just rotate his shoulders up. Put the wings wherever you want. And put the guns straight up. Bring his hands around, and again, these panels, you can have them in either position. Officially for all the other modes, they're lower. But they do fit in a little better here in robot mode. You bring them up so these tabs, instead of just tabbing in on just this one tab, you bring it up, tab it into both of those tabs, and then fold it around, and there's some tabs here that lock in this position that they don't lock in any of the other ones. When they're sitting low, there's only that one tab holding them together. And then he's got the posable fingers. It doesn't look like you can tab these in up on his shoulders. I'm sure somebody will find a way to do it, but there's no... Actually, you know what? There is a peg hole back here on the back. Let's see what we got here. Can you Let me see if this peg hole fits into this. That's the groove for that. Let me see. Oh yeah, if you point the gun up, it looks like maybe you can tab that in there. I mean, like that's the only way it tabs in. It doesn't sit securely, but it looks like you can, if you really want to, tab this in. Yep, there we go. It actually does tab in very securely. So you can put those up on his upper shoulders if you want. I never liked that look. I never understood why they even put that in there, but it's there if you want it. It's there if you want it. And really, that's what you want out of a Transformer. You like them up there, put them up there, and have a great time with it. I won't, but again, that's me. Maybe I'm the weird one. It's possible. And here he is in robot mode. And again, you can have these up or down. And what's cool is he's got the gun backpack. But if you just saw, you can have these sticking vertically like this. You can fold them down over his shoulders to give him his shoulder cannons if you want, which is nice. He's got a ball jointed head, nice green eyes. Kind of hard to see, but green eyes. Can look side to side. He's got the shoulders. Shoulders can come out a little bit on that hinge that extends them, but also this piece rotates in and out. You can move the arms out of the way. He's got a bicep swivel. He does have those dual hinged elbows, so you get a good range of motion there. You've got a ball joint at the wrist, a ball joint on the thumb, and then a hinge on the thumb, and then a dual hinge in the fingers. The fingers do pop off. Like I use these, so those I'll probably use that out of hand so infrequently. I may glue one of these forearm pieces on, but because they do like to pop off fairly easily. You got a waist swivel. These little shoulder hip guards are attached very much the same way that the Perfect Effect are. They're just kind of separate pieces. Although the Perfect Effect had a peg, had a ball coming out of the waist, and then this piece clipped onto the ball joint. Whereas here the ball joint is inside the waist itself, and it looks like it's screwed into place. It doesn't snap in, so there's less chance for stress like on the Perfect Effect one. But dual ball joint hips and a thigh swivel. Dual hinge knees, although the backpack gets in the way of them getting really out of the way. Nicely detailed backpack with some thrusters down here. The wheels don't rotate; they're fixed in place on the legs. But then you've got a hinge here at the heel, a hinge here at the toe, on the toe piece, and then like on the main toe piece, and then a secondary hinge right here by the toes themselves. And then that whole black assembly is on a ball joint there for ankle tilt and some front to back, as well as you can see the hinge there up at where it meets the blue part. So you've got a lot of really good posability in the feet to really make them solid. And then you can take the gun, you flip this down, there's a little peg hole, there's a tab and a slot in his hand. And the slot itself does not hold the gun in place, but once you wrap the fingers around it, it actually stays in his hand pretty well. So you can give him a big rifle if you want. And you can angle the wings, again, like however you want. You want them sticking straight up, you can do that. You want them to angle down, you can do that too. You want them sticking straight back, like he's blowing in the wind, fine, go nuts. Go bananas, I guess I should say. Get it? Oh, because anyway. But yeah, he's very cool. Like I said, he suffers from the same thing that I think every Optimal Optimus figure does, in that all of his non-robot modes tend to suffer in some way a little bit. But he does have a very fantastic robot mode. I'm really happy with it. And which is how he'll probably spend a lot of his time displayed. I do wish, like I said, considering the character, I do wish maybe a little bit more priority had been given to the gorilla mode, only because like that was his whole alt mode for the whole series, gorilla and robot, and then like he got the car and jet modes from absorbing Optimus's spark, which kind of made sense. Like I got the logic of it, and the fact that they were kind of halfway there was okay. So like I said, but his robot mode is fantastic. It's clearly Optimal Optimus, and it's a very nice small representation of him, and the build quality's solid, and he's fun to convert between all the modes. I do appreciate that they tried to give us, like I said, I'm missing one, but I'm not even going to complain about it, because I don't know how often I'll even use these, and this hand's going to be even if I use this hand's probably going to be holding the gun most of the time anyway. So if I was going to miss one, that one's okay. But I like that they gave us the option for hands, and it's an innovative way of doing it. But But like I said, it's there. And again, because these are one piece, you can't articulate the fingers like you could on that. It's neat. The drawback is the peg can be loose, especially like this hand pegs in very securely. This hand comes off fairly easily, and it may be because it doesn't go all the way around to allow for that tab for the gun. The drawback to that is if you tab the gun in, just tabbing the gun in itself causes these to want to pop off. So yeah, like I may at least on one side permanently affix the hand in, because that can be a bit of a pain. Once you get it in there, it can stay in there fairly securely, and if you wrap the fingers around it just right. But there's that. Anyway, I like him. I think he's a good, solid figure with some of the drawbacks. I love his jet mode. It's a fun little jet mode to swoosh around. And his robot mode is neat and good. Like I said, I just wish the gorilla mode were a little bit more proportional. It's not even the design of it. I just wish either the head were a little more proportional, or I wish there were a middle setting for the arms. You can get them in the middle, but like they also the only middle position is with that hinge extended all the way out, so they sit way out here. And like a middle setting on those arms would have been nice. How you do that, I don't know, but it would have been nice. Of course, here he is with the Mice Warriors from Transform Element that I just got the other day. Obviously, that one's not to scale. Rat Trap was not that big in relation to Optimal Optimus. However, in a nice scale, and what looks really fantastic on the shelf together, and why I have been so desperate. Like, half of it was done already. I was desperately waiting for Primal Commander here to show up, so on my shelf I could have these two standing next to each other, and those two are just fantastic, fun, pocket-sized Beast Wars dudes. The end. I mean, like, I'm not even gonna argue. Like, I love Beast Wars. I remember watching it when it aired. I enjoyed it. It's still one of my favorite iterations of Transformers. It's not for some people, and I get it. That's fine. But also, Optimus Primal and Megatron in that show were great. I loved Megatron's Dragon Mode. I think this is a fantastic representation of it. I like Optimal Optimus. I think this is a fantastic representation of it. I've got the original toys from Beast Wars. I've got the bigger Perfect Effect Megatron and Optimus Primal. And now I have these guys, and I like having them all represented on my shelf. I think these two by themselves make great counterpoints to each other, and they're both fun little figures. Megatron's Dragon Mode especially is fantastic. So yeah, thanks again to Iron Factory. These, like I said, these two guys might very well be my favorite two figures I've gotten from them. They're not perfect. They're not perfect. Like, Scorponok is really good. I like him too. Iron Factory puts out a lot of really consistently good figures for the size, and not even for the size, just consistently good figures, and the fact that they're small and pocketable is even better. But for nostalgia and character-wise, these two may very well be my favorite Iron Factory figures, certainly for right now. But I'm glad to have them together. IF-EX43 Primal Commander, check it out.